far as I'm concerned, on the name of the game. But you take what you can get. Remember last year, Detroit went to the playoffs, and the Redskins beat them. The Packers, meanwhile, beat St. Louis and then lost in a good game to the Dallas Cowboys. They think they want to go back again. That's Huckabee waiting for the kickoff by Murray.
But you never give up. You've got a chance. It's a 30-minute game right now.
Murray's kick. Huckabee at the 4-yard line. You see that big turf come up as he took a step. He gets away from a couple of people. Huckabee out over the 30 to the 32-yard line and right into the Detroit sideline. That was Wagner down there under it. Good coverage by Detroit. They lead the league in covering kickoffs. That time, Huckabee got a pretty good break on the outside. Let's see what the call is. We may have an infraction here.
You know, Green Bay went out way ahead last week against Minnesota.
19-zip, they were ahead.
And then they're susceptible in the second half to yield some points.
It's Gordon McCarter. Illegal block on the return. This is going to take that good field position away that Huckabee gave him and move it back inside.
We just got some new information that thickens the plot somewhat. Lynn Dickey is in the locker room with a concussion. And we don't know how bad he's going to be, whether he's going to be able to play the second half, and that's Whitehurst, David Whitehurst.
Illegal block from behind, number 64, receiving team, 1st and 10.
Illegal block. Whitehurst is in the game. Out of the Citadel. I'm just trying to figure out what happened and when Dickey got it.
I don't remember seeing he's only thrown 18 passes this year.
Wow, this drama has yet to be settled. Fumble snap on the first play. McCarron snaps it up. I believe Detroit has it. You people that have just gone to the refrigerator, you better get out and sit back in your chair because this is going to tighten up. Whitehurst, first snap, fumble.
Oh, that is amazing. That's just what Detroit needs. He fumbles the exchange between the center and McCarron.
Gosh.
And in pro football, you're not supposed to have that happen. Hey, but you know, you're just not used to getting that ball that much. And
Alvin Hall came up quickly and fell on it. And now the Detroit team is turned on. It is colder. Remember, we started at 43 degrees. It's 32. No rain, but it's getting cold. And Detroit's trying to heat it up. 20-3, they trail. Fake handoff by Hipple. He's going to run with it. Hipple rolling on a naked reverse inside. Oh, he's hit hard at the goal line and scores a touchdown. Eric Hipple ran over a safety man to get the touchdown, and he is staggered, but he got up. Lewis, the Pittsburgh rookie, hit him head on, and Hipple won.
boy, I tell you, Hipple really loves to run this ball. I bet he'd like to run the ball on every play. He'd like to have an option type of attack. But look at him. You know, Tim Lewis comes up and delivers the blow. And, of course, the defensive backs are supposed to be the tough ones. And it knocks Lewis out. What a great effort by Hipple. And a great stick by Lewis that still doesn't keep him out of the end zone. This game is turned around right now.
About the only opportunity to turn it around showed up when Whitehurst fumbles the first snap. Lynn Dickey, a slight concussion. We don't know if he got it at halftime because we didn't see him get it on the playing field. More later. Murray for the extra point. It's as good as gold. And suddenly the crowd is very, very quiet. And yes, it's getting colder. And the game is suddenly 20-10. I talked to Gary Knaufel, an old teammate of mine who played with the Packers, and Lee Rimmel came around, and they said Dickey got it on that last little drive down there. He has a partial concussion.
Must have been the touchdown pass to...
What is a little concussion? As opposed to a big one, I guess. Murray kicking off, taking it the 15-yard line by Huckabee, who gets another good return out to the 34. There are no flags down this time. And a fight breaks out around the 35-yard line. Flags now are down. A couple of people exchanged forearms and then shots. McCall was one of them. And that's who they're going to call. They're going to call McCall.
What?
They're going to call him for unsportsmanlike. Both benches being notified. Detroit and Green Bay, by the way, in this stadium are both on the same side of the field. One of the, I guess, the last place almost in the NFL where they let players mingle. I'm sure glad they didn't do that when I was playing. Were you ever on the same side of the field with the other team?
Yeah, Minnesota, and when we played here at County Stadium.
Carter.
Personal foul Unnecessary roughness. Number 81 on the kicking team. Number 81 is disqualified. We have holding. Number 56 on the receiving team. The penalties offset.
Reese McCall was ejected from the game, and number 56, Lewis, was called for holding. Sounds like Lewis held McCall, and McCall did strike him a blow and was thrown out of the game. Whatever. The Packers will have the ball on the 34.5-yard line, and Whitehurst is the quarterback.
Well, he'll stay in that jacket for the rest of the afternoon.
It didn't really cost Detroit much except his playing time.
And we were talking about what type of motivation the defense has. They've got some motivation now. We come back and get a quick touchdown at the beginning of the second half.
Whitehurst trying to get the rushing game going, almost fumbled by Ellis. Fantetti attacking the line of scrimmage. And you're right, they'll put so much pressure on number 17 just because he's coming in cold. Now, you played against him a couple of years ago when he had this team almost in contention back in the late 70s.
He's a good thrower. He's a pure passer, and he's a little more mobile than Dickey, as you probably guessed.
We'll keep you updated on Lynn Dickey's concussion. They said it was a slight one, not a big one, but he's not in the game. Clark looked like he was having trouble holding onto that ball. Fantetti making another tackle. And now the mood has changed here at the stadium.
It happens down here in the pits. And you'll see them running close to the cup right here. They're not going to be trying too many fancy things with the new quarterback. It's 3rd and 6. They're going to have to put it up or run some sort of trick play.
3rd down and 6. And sometimes the Packers are not a good 3rd down converting team. Last week for a while against the Vikings, they were 1 for 11. This is a big one. Whitehurst with time. His arm is hit. Arm is hit as a big pass rush came by Doug English. English came up the middle and grabbed the quarterback and did wring his neck.
78, Doug English working on the center, McCarron and Dressler in a little looping move. That's the game we're talking about. Pressuring on the inside. Boy, I tell you, Doug English, a never-say-die-type player and a great defensive tackle in the NFL.
A lot of quarterbacks were glad a couple of years ago when he went out and drilled for oil in the North Atlantic. He took a year off. Now he's drilling for QBs again. It's 4th down. Scribner is in. He is left-footed. And it's getting colder, and the wind is blowing in his face. It's a low kick, but it's drilled. Kenny Jenkins at the 14-yard line. Jenkins bursting out to the 27-yard line, and Detroit seems to have picked up a little bit. The momentum has swung to the men from the Motor City. They still are 10 points back, but Lynn Dickey is in the locker room. The first snap scored, and now they have the ball back again. Thompson and Billy Sims in the backfield in the eye. Hipple has gone all the way at QB. This is to Billy Sims. Carrying people out over the 30-yard line. Mike Douglas taking a ride. And right now the crowd is very quiet. As they know now, the defense has really got to play up to snuff.
I think it's important to note that James Jones is not in the lineup still. And he's been replaced by Vince Thompson on the Detroit side. Of course, Dickey not being on the Green Bay side of the line of scrimmage is a problem for them.
2nd down and 6. Pick up a 4 as Billy Sims nears 100 yards again. The rollout left by Hipple. He's drawing a crowd. Ezra Johnson can't get him, and Hipple gets to the 30-yard line. Cumby forced him out there. He's doing a lot of rolling out. We saw him score the touchdown. He got hit hard. I wonder if quarterbacks can take that kind of punishment on a regular basis.
He looked like he was a fullback when he went in the end zone. You know, they run that rollout to the left side, which is unorthodox to turn back and throw when you're rolling to the left. And you can see him, he tried to cock his arm to throw, and it was just hard to do with Johnson in his face.
Ezra was very fast on the pass rush, and they may have been sort of stunning that way. It looked like everybody moved toward the roll. Good frequency pickup by the Packer defense. It's 3rd down and 6. King and Sims. The shotgun. Hipple with all day. Going outside. Good catch at the 49-yard line by Porter. Looked like he almost lost it when he hit the ground.
This is a nice pass by Hipple. Good protection. And this is what they did the first half. They completed the third down plays, but there was always holding on the play. This is Jeff Chadwick, the rookie, that makes the catch. And there wasn't holding on the plays. They get the first down.
Good throw out of the shotgun. Now Billy Sims trying to bounce outside. Gets to the 45. Not very much pressure put on that last pass rush against the shotgun. They went with a regular three-man rush, and they didn't get there at all, of course.
Well, Green Bay, going into this ball game, only had 19 sacks for the whole season. Now, last week they had a great game against Minnesota in that they sacked the quarterback 6 times, so they felt like that was one of the good things they had coming into the ball game. But they didn't have any pressure on that last situation, which they got to have in this half.
Billy Sims not picking up much, but he's still got 4 yards on it. It's second down 6 now on the Packer 45. Lions are turned on. Big pass rush. Good catch by Sims. A diving catch at the 36-yard line. Wingo just couldn't keep him from flying.
I tell you, Billy Sims can do it all. You'll see him. He'll come out of the backfield and swing across in front of your screen. Watch him leap up and catch this ball.
Bad hand and all. Sign him. Mr. Ford, sign that man and keep him in Detroit. A great football player and a good team player. And right now, Detroit's sort of humming, aren't they? They're hitting on all 8 of them. Crowd very quiet. Inside handoff. That's Thompson. Good hold. False trap, perhaps. Let's see. But inside the 30-yard line. Ezra Johnson finally tackling him there.
You know, I like that call right there, Brookie. They've been running Sims. Sims has been averaging 4.5 on first down. Look at the trap block by Homer Elias, number 61, on number 50, Wingo. And they get a really good gain out of it. 8 yards out of the fullback, Thompson.
In there for the number 1 draft, Jones, who has bad ribs. Second down. Call it 2. Inside handoff. Again, Thompson. The man from Villanova gets almost to the 25, but he's going to be very close to the first down. Cumbie and Wingo meeting him there. Very quiet crowd. It came out at halftime. Everybody was festive, and all of a sudden, Dickey was not there to take the snap, and Whitehurst didn't. Fumble, and Hipple runs it in, and suddenly it's 20-10, and momentum is for the guys in the silver and blue. That's Hipple looking around.
This is a critical down for both teams.
He's been cool. Big third down and 1. You know how Sims is. In short yardage, he can break it. He stumbles. He may not have gotten it, but nobody touched him down. He could swim for it from there.
I think the stumble was either caused by himself or his own man. With those guys in the striped shirts.
Oh, boy, I don't know.
That's a strange mark right there.
This will bring up a gamble, obviously. If it's 4th and an inch, you got to go for it if you got somebody like Billy Sims in your backfield.
Yeah, and you got Pittsburgh on Thursday.
Yeah, don't save it. Yeah, don't worry about Turkey Day. Yeah.
Go ahead and get this. Let's go for this win here. Let's see if we can tell whether the officials did the right thing here. Sims does trip on his own man, and that is, you can keep going. And yet, now he's touched. That ball should have been marked on the other side of the 25-yard line.
They thought that linebacker was the one that caused it by tripping him up, but it was actually hitting his foot of his own man, and Charlie, you saw it very early. Anyway, it brings up a crucial 4th and a few inches. You want to see some beef packed into a short yardage defense, this is it. First down, over the line, Billy Sims.
Of course, Billy Sims got called for hurdling last week when he jumped up and kicked 2 of the guys on the other team. This week he leaps over and they don't call hurdling. Cumbie up there, 52, trying to meet him. Great vision by Sims to leap to get to first.
There was never any doubt that they were going to go for the 4th down. Hipple went back to the huddle saying this much. Hipple, a man in control. Looks like he's very much set as the quarterback right now.
Very determined.
1st and 10. Hipple, a lot of time to throw. Good leaping catch by Sims at the 20. He's over 100 yards rushing, and he's made 2 sensational catches in the third period. Just under 8 minutes in the third period. 20-10. Was 20-3 at half. Don't forget, Minnesota having trouble with Pittsburgh, but leading them 14-7.
Boy, it's going to be a messy leadership situation in the Central here.
Tied with Green Bay right now after the Packers' victory a week ago. Drive play, Sims, good defensive play, knocks him down at the 15. Wingo penetrating. The great runners in collegiate history. And of course, Oklahoma's had so many. Pruitt and Joe Washington. I don't mention Dupre because he went back to high school or wherever he went.
Billy Sims, in his career here at Detroit, he's averaging every game 83 yards per game. Now that is a pretty good statistic. You hear a lot about O.J. Anderson. He's averaging 85 yards for every game that he's played in the NFL. Sims, strong ball player and a great pass receiver too.
And I think a good team player. When he came in the league, much heralded and a lot of money put on a contract, he never seemed to let it affect him. It's 3rd and inches. It's Hipple with another carry off the left side, right off the left guard. Went by Elias, picked up the first down. The Lions very much concentrating on this drive. No fooling around.
Hush over this crowd. People realize what's happening. This is a very strong drive by Detroit. It's a pretty cool little play right there. As you see Clark checking his chart. They had the I formation. They ran both backs in one direction to the right, and then just Hipple kind of slips to the left. That takes the linebackers away so nobody won't be confronting Hipple.
Good call. Here it is on 1st and 10. What do the Lions have cooked up? Billy Sims cutting back and a good tackle. Good defensive penetration by the Packers. It's Braggs, Byron Braggs, the big Crimson Tide man, made a good tackle, and he made penetration to get it, to hold him to maybe a couple of yards.
You know, the NFL is so much to do with trends, and guys that are on teams that are on a trend usually do well. You got Byron Braggs, who came in last week and got 2 sacks last week. Now that guy's hot, and he's having a hot game today.
Holding Billy Sims to 1 yard. Can you imagine that? It brings up 2nd down and 9. Ball's on the 13. Hipple, straight drop back. Being rushed, throws it into a crowd, and it's taken by a lineman. And it may be a legal catch because it hit a Packer before Lee took the reception. Let's see what they call. It hit a Packer. Hipple was hit as he was trying to unload it. What do they call him?
Incomplete pass. Hipple drops back. Sims is circling out of the backfield. I think he draws 5 Packers on this play. Everybody in the stadium knows who he's going to. The ball is tipped up, and it is an incomplete pass. The guy needs to work on his catching a little bit.
Lee with his first non-reception of the year. Shotgun time. It's 3rd down and 9. Hipple, a lot of time going for the corner. Knocked away. Osteen was there and should have made the interception.
You're right. Osteen had a chance for an interception. The ball hung in the air. You need to throw the ball in timing down here because you can close in on your receivers a little closer. Look at this play. Of course, he timed his jump wrong, Osteen. Of course, if he hadn't have tipped it, 26 Tim Lewis would have got the interception.
Chadwick in the end zone waiting for it. The rookie from upstate Michigan. Hipple got lucky. You have to sometime. Murray trying to kick. Hipple going to hold. He's 6 for 7 from this distance. 30-yard attempt. Doesn't look too good. It is good. It made it. It fluttered. He didn't have a lot of it.
The kick blocker from our angle, it looked like Murray kicked the ball poorly. Well, he hooks it around. That ball started outside the goalpost and comes in the middle. He hooks it around Gary Lewis. That's one way to take care of Gary Lewis.
Looked like he kicked it toward Appleton and it came back with the breeze, whatever. Murray got it for a 3-pointer, and we're on a dead course for perhaps an overtime. It's 20-13. Here's the kickoff. It's a short kick. Huckabee at the 15. Good coverage again by Detroit. They do cover the kickoff to about the 27. The Detroit defense now feeling that they can perhaps take charge. 5:20 left in this third period. It's getting tight. Don't forget, the NCAA Saturday, our Thanksgiving weekend, Kansas against Houston. That's baskets. You know what Houston did last year, right? Number 2, the NCAA today, Nebraska against Oklahoma. Right here on CBS this Thanksgiving weekend, Saturday. That's Ellis to the left side, chased. Detroit now getting very nasty on defense. They think they can control this ball game and give the ball back to Hippel and company.
Of course, Whitehurst still is in at the quarterback position. And it's totally different attack with Whitehurst in there. Now, he played and started the season in 78 and 79, so he's been the starting quarterback here for many years, but they are a Dickey-controlled team, and Dickey is not in there now.
But I remember when they used to do the same thing to Dickey. They used to put a lot of pressure on him, figured he couldn't move. Now they're putting the pressure on the whole Packer offense. That's Jesse Clark, bad foot and all, trying to get a yard or two, and that's all he does get.
When the Boo Birds are out, they want the game to be a little more wide open.
What they don't realize is that that's what Detroit hopes happens. Detroit would like to force Whitehurst to throw a lot and air it out. 3rd down and 5 with under 5 minutes left in the third period. Tom Brookshire with Charlie Waters. What looked like sort of a laugher at halftime is no laughing matter. Lynn Dickey has a slight concussion, and Whitehurst is the quarterback in the second half. Whitehurst back to throw. He's being crowded and throws the ball into a crowd. It's Fantetti on the back. He hit the linebacker on the back and has to get up.
Great pressure. Watch English in the middle of your screen. Dressler's got his hands full. English avoids him. And the ball hits Fantetti right in the back. And to tell you the reason why that's an incomplete pass, because there's a pressure on the quarterback. Whitehurst had to get rid of the ball right at the last minute. 66 Kofer's the one that put the pressure on him.
Was Curtis Green in there close to, or was it Kofer? It was good pressure, whoever was in at that spot. Scribner back to kick. The left footer will be kicking from about the 20. It's pretty soft down there in that infield mess there. It's not a good kick. Jenkins fumbles it, picks it back up. Gets to the 35. A few elbows fly. Scribner begins to breathe again. And Paul Kaufman is down making the tackle. Suddenly, Green Bay tightens up a little bit. It's 20-13. I even saw a guy with a Chicago Cub pennant back up in there somewhere. He's probably left over from a couple of World Series ago, back in 45 or something. Anyway, right now, it's 1st and 10. Detroit with the ball, and Hippel has really come on in this third period. 4:21 left in the third. Billy Sims behind his blockers, smoothly getting up behind the big fellas and running in their shadow. Cumbie finally making the tackle.
Vince Thompson, the fullback, number 38, lead blocking for Billy Sims. Look at that power. Everybody's just moving the green guys back, and you get 6 yards out of the play.
And the Green Bay defense has been susceptible to the good rush that runs straight at them. The 34, you've got to have a nose tackle that's built like the Brooklyn Bridge to be able to hold a 34 together. 2nd down and 4. Call it 3.5. The toss back to Billy Sims. Good block on the outside. Close to a 1st down at the 46-yard line. Randy Scott in there, the new linebacker. Other scores now, and this action is getting heated. You know, we're down to the end. Game number 12, huh? The Raiders 17-10 over Buffalo. Don't count Buffalo out anytime. Cleveland 23-0 over New England. Woo. Every other week, the team goes up and down. The Giants laying it on the Eagles 16-0. Miami getting even with Baltimore. 31-0 in the third. And young Marino, the Pittsburgh rookie, that turned out to be some fine for Shula. 3rd down and inches. Hippel to Sims. Sims breaks 2 tackles and gets almost to midfield all on his own. He goes right off the big offensive right tackle, Dorney. Good place to go. Good hip to run off of.
Dorney, a big, strong tackle. Look at this. There's just a little teeny crease right here that Sims goes through. And it doesn't take much to get him through there, and he powers for the 1st down.
Johnny Gray making that tackle, but Billy Sims in your lineup makes you a contender.
It gets stronger as the game goes on, Brookie.
1st and 10. Hippel back on the 1st down. He's got time. Receivers open is Sims at the 45. Johnny Gray tried to strip the ball, but too late.
You know, it's amazing. Everybody in the stadium that knows that Sims is either going to get it on the ground or get it in the air, and they can't do anything about it. Heck, he catches 9 passes last week. Look at the protection. There's a blitz coming in, 55, Scott. And that leaves Sims isolated with Gray on the outside, and he can't do anything about it. 7-yard gain.
Sims runs at you, over you, then he runs by you and catches the ball. A very, very dangerous person to have. Second down and 3.
Can he punt?
He probably can. Inside the 40 to the 37, Thompson. Let's go to New York City now for an update. And Walter Payton is off and running.
Rookie Walter Payton's great day continues for the Chicago Bears. His second touchdown here against the Buccaneers. And for the second week in a row, the Buccaneers cannot cross the goal line. The Bears hook the extra point, 20-0 now. Chicago in total command. Back to Brookie.
Thank you, Brett. Walter Payton used to be the first guy on the practice field for the Bears and the last guy off. He's one of the classy people we've ever seen in football. Having a big day, just like Sims. Speaking of Sims, handoff on first down. Sims inside the 35 to the 34. Very, very quiet crowd of 53 or 4,000. 1 minute left in the third period, and in the third quarter, they haven't had much to cheer about.
Well, he never changes his expression. Doesn't he? Be ahead by 50 points. Who's that remind you of?
Your old coach, huh?
Very similar.
Huh?
Always cool under pressure.
He's a lot warmer person, though, than he appears to be. I guess that's true of all coaches. Behind closed doors, I think Bart gets pretty mean and tough, and that's the way you have to be. Hipple under a big rush, going for Norris, away from him at the 5-yard line, and good coverage by the Green Bay secondary. Hipple barely did get that one off.
They've had a beautiful drive. They've had 2 real good drives in a row. Of course, the last drive cashed in for 3 points, and they had a successful drive going here where they get the first a little bit. Now they went for the deep bomb trying to catch Green Bay off balance. Didn't pay off, but I like the gambling technique.
And that was the tight end that you think is so important in these pass offenses. Minnesota beating Pittsburgh 17-7 in the third. St. Louis humiliating San Diego 44-7. Boy, I'd like to interview Hannaford. Third down, big play, third down and 7. Hipple. Oh, intercepted at the 20-yard line. Number 22 has the ball coming back to that. That's Mark Lee. A big play. Lee back to the 27-yard line. Bart Starr says, we finally got the defensive turnover. And Monty probably says, who in the heck was Hipple throwing to?
That was either a poorly thrown ball or a mix-up in a route. But that's the type of thing you don't need to do.
Lee stayed away from wherever he was throwing it.
Hipple looks left, goes back to the right. They had a good drive going. Momentum seemed to be on their side. Now it looks like it's on Green Bay's side. We'll see in a minute.
The second interception of the year for Lee. Probably thought, boy, Christmas comes early. Hipple just flat threw it into the outside zone, and he takes the INT. Winehurst is the quarterback. He has not been effective yet. He hasn't taken many snaps. Dickey has a partial concussion, or a light concussion. Being chased. Whitehurst tries to screen. He gets the ball to Meade. Meade is pulled down at the 37-yard line, but I believe a first down first.
There's a flag on the play.
They tried to set the screen up, but boy, the Lions were really after the quarterback. He didn't have to fake him too much to set up that screen.
A lot of pressure on him. He tried to sell the screen and pull the lineman in on him. They pulled him in on him that time, but you know, the penalty is against Green Bay. This is just like a reverse game here. This is the same problem Detroit had all the first half. They'd get a good drive or get a good first, and they get a penalty. And they also had turnovers.
Pass interference, number 80 offense, repeat first down.
It's Lofton for pass interference, clearing out again, I guess.
On the screen, you want to let the lineman through, but I mean, you don't want to let him through that quickly, do you? They almost got trapped on a screen play.
Because once it's completed, Lofton can go ahead and block people. I wonder about the call. Misdirection play, Ellis. side. Ellis picking up the yardage it has lost. Ellis to a first down. The crowd roars for the first time in the third period.
Gary Ellis made a good decision as soon as he got the ball on this draw play. Watch this little stutter step. Good block it downfield. By 33, Jesse Clark, who can block. Not only can he run, but he can block. But this is a great run to get him out of trouble.
That's the end of the third quarter. The score, 20-13. Green Bay leading Detroit. The great Hall of Fame linebacker, Tony Cannondale, Don Hudson, and Bart Starr's numbers, the only others that have ever been retired. And Ray Nitschke, an interesting man indeed, and a great player. The slip screen to Ellis. Ellis makes a move, gets almost to midfield, and there are a bunch of Lions on top. Hall was leading the way on defense. A first down for number 31, and the crowd beginning to get very animated.
And the players are getting very animated, a little shoving. Watch the problems that Ken Fantetti has on his screen pass. He's on his way over there. He reads it. He runs into the referee. That's another kind of screen.
Except you can't penalize the Zebras.
That's a pick play. That's what the pick's all about, somebody getting in somebody else's way.
Ellis bailing out the quarterback Whitehurst, who obviously hasn't taken many snaps with the first team. And he fumbled the first snap of the third quarter. And Hipple later scored to get this game fairly close. Right now, the Packers need a long drive in this fourth period. Meade and Ellis in the eye. Whitehurst the quarterback. Drive by Ellis. Ellis inside the 40. And carrying people to the 37. And sometimes you wonder if he's on the same field as somebody like Billy Sims, if it doesn't turn everybody on.
I think that's a good point. You get the good backs that play against other good backs, and all of a sudden the good comes out in both of them. Ellis is really coming on strong.
Third quarter stats. 29 plays for Detroit, only 11 for Green Bay, huh? 72 yards to 30 and 10 points. And no score for Green Bay in the third. Whitehurst tossing back to Ellis. Ellis gets through a tackle and finally knocked out. There is a flag down on the play. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of the Green Bay Packers and the National Football League is prohibited. And you know, Curly Lambeau started this franchise in Green Bay in 1919. That is rather a long time to have a great traditional thing like Green Bay Packer football. I was with Mr. Nitschke and Jerry Kramer and Fuzzy Thurston out at an NFL alumni meeting, and they were staring across the room at Gil Maines and Cronin and those Lions like they still had something going.
Illegal motion. Offensive right end. Repeat first down.
What I'm trying to say is Green Bay and Detroit have locked horns so many times in this kind of a game that it's hard to separate all the great contests. A big play here. First down and 15. The ball's on the 42. Whitehurst has got to go topside. Whitehurst to throw. Good throw and knocked away. They're going to call the flags are flying. At least 5. At the 25-yard line. Bruce McNaughton on James Lofton.
That's the second one that Bruce McNaughton's been called for. And
Pass interference. Number 29 defense. First and 10.
A large play indeed.
here's the play.
How else do you cover a guy like Lofton?
Well, that's a pretty good play right there. It's hard to see whether it was actually interference or not, but it looked like a pretty clean play to me. Of course, I played 12 years in the NFL as a defensive back. I'm not biased or anything.
And touch dancing is out, isn't it? A big first down call on the penalty. You're the Packers, you take them any way they come. Whitehurst back to throw on first down. Across the middle for Lofton, and it's off the fingertips. James Lofton leaping at the end zone line, and Watkins was right there with him. Some athlete, number 80.
And some kind of play by Watkins, the corner. Of course, you can't throw in the NFL without the time.
That ball was right on target. Lofton has caught those before.
That ball was a nicely thrown ball, but he had time to do it. It looked like Dressler tackled English to get him out of the play, but he kept him out and they didn't call holding.
Second down and 10. The ball on the 24. McCarron, the center. What's his consecutive streak at now for McCarron?
116 games for McCarron. He had amazing. He made the Pro Bowl last year after 11 years in the NFL, and that is a great accomplishment for McCarron. You know, he had a hernia 3.5 weeks before a season start and played the first game. Now, how can you do that?
With the hernia?
He wants to play.
You ought to write a book. Whitehurst out in the flat. Clark. Jesse Clark making a good catch. Remember, he has a very, very sore big toe. And I know that sounds like something that a modern athlete would have, but that is the most painful thing you can have.
Well, you see the way he's running right there. He's kind of running stiff-footed. You don't bend your foot too much. A turf toe is caused on artificial turf. It's a new injury that's been developed because of the turf. It's actually a sprained toe. You bend your toe backwards, and it stretches the ligaments in there. Boy, and it's very painful.
And he was trying to kick it off on the sidelines. Ellis is back in there. This could be the play of the game. 13:21 left in the fourth period. Third down and 9. Whitehurst under pressure. Whitehurst hit but throws the ball, and it skitters away from everybody, and I don't see any flags. Intended for Mike Mead.
Whitehurst had a good series that time, though, Tom. He threw the ball downfield on several times. He threw the ball right on the money on the deep pass.
John Stenerud, number 10, the old gunslinger from Montana. 40-yard field goal attempt. What are his numbers? 6 of 7 from this distance.
He's got 2 good today.
Scribner's holding. What kind of a holder is he? You held for a dozen years, too.
He's good. Look at those strings in the front.
Blocked by Detroit, picked up. I think Kofor made the block, and I'm not sure who was scrambling with it. Was the ball kicked high?
It looked like great penetration to me and good leaping. We mentioned the hold. Look at the strings are right in the front. That's exactly what you want. You see 66 Kofor coming in and leaping and timing the kick. I tell you, that's just a great leap. I think that ball was kicked well. Kofor, a rookie, showing up today.
6'5", 228. I believe it had enough elevation to make it. Stenerud doesn't miss many, as we told you from there.
It was not a poor kick.
Hipple, the quarterback all the way. Toss back to Billy Sims. Billy Sims cuts back. Billy Sims runs through tacklers to the 48-yard line. And the crowd suddenly quiets again.
You got to give the ball to Billy Sims on first down. He's averaging over 4 yards a carry on first down. He's got 130 today. Look at the block. Vince Evans, 38 on the outside, and Sims cutting back. Got to give it to him. Boy, he wants it every time.
130 yards on 28 carries for Billy Sims. Lynn Dickey will not be back. A mild concussion. The doctors and the Packers will not bring him back. Packers in the league. Anderson helped off the field, injured somewhat, but staying there, ready to go back when and if he gets a chance.
He was shaking his arm. He's had his arm broken 3 times, and he was shaking on the sidelines.
First and 10 on the 49. Toss back to Billy Sims. Inside the 45 to the 44. 12:30 left in this game. A 20-13 job, and Detroit has the football. Here's the opponents. These are the opponents. At Atlanta, Chicago, Tampa Bay, Chicago. That's for Green Bay. Of course, the important thing, 3 of those are the Central Division opponents. Detroit, Pittsburgh, that's just in a few days, folks. Minnesota, Cincinnati, and Tampa Bay. Now, Detroit, remember, they have a darn good record inside the conference right now. Remember, Green Bay is 2-2 in the conference. Sims, pretty close to the 40-yard line. Wingo making the tackle.
Detroit's offensive line is just moving Green Bay back, and they're getting 5 yards a clip. We mentioned that Detroit's got that Thursday game with Pittsburgh. You know, we have Dallas plays a Thursday game every year. Thanksgiving Day game. You don't even have time to get over your bruises, and you're still sore.
Of course, the main thing is you get 10 days off after it. So if you can survive the 2 in a short time, you can get healthy, can't you?
And win.
And win. Semi-roll left by Hipple, overthrown. And the linebacker nailed receiver coming across the middle, and we're trying to figure out who it is that's still on the field for Detroit. Is it Nichols? It's Thompson. Leonard Thompson is down. He was drilled by the defender, and the people even groaned like they thought a flag was going to come.
That was a vicious hit. Vicious hit.
Was it Tim Lewis that did it? I don't like to lay that on the wrong person.
We'll be able to see it. Green Bay man coming in. 24, it looks like Johnny Gray making the hit. Well, that's
Johnny Gray.
And you don't think, I tell you people, you watch this game and you see them in there playing with their uniforms on and running into each other and tackling and having a good time. And I tell you, those guys earn their money when they have to take a call. He's tough, but I tell you, that shows how tough he is to get up and walk off after that.
Second down and 10. Hipple back to move now. They only trail by 7. It's 20-13. Chadwick is in for Thompson. Hipple under a big rush. Norris can't hang on at the 30-yard line. Murphy was there. Norris simply did not hang on. The club traded away Dave Hill, the tremendous talented tight end who wasn't too happy. But Norris had a couple of passes he should have caught today.
That ball was a little underthrown, but you got to make that catch when the quarterback's under pressure. There's a blitz on. He had to unload it in a hurry. Norris has got to make that play. Now it's 3rd and 10. Pressure's on.
11:23 left. King is in there. A good receiver coming out of the backfield. Chadwick is in. And now there's a flag down. Jack Fettig is that official that just dropped the flag. What if they'll ever put a flag in the Hall of Fame? Unsportsmanlike. Somebody from the bench must have been saying something to the official. I'd like to have a recording of that.
It's against Detroit. It's probably...
Fettig is over talking to the Detroit players now. That's a tough time to get it. Of all the times to get a penalty, here's McCarter.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. A 12th man lingers in the huddle, goes off the field too late before the ball is put in play. Still 3rd down.
The 12th man, they said, lingered in the huddle. You can see Fettig standing in front of Monty Clark. Clark is trying to figure out who it might have been. That's, of course, deception, as they call it in the rules. But it's one of the awful times ever to get a penalty. It's 3rd down now and 25. Hipple in the shotgun. He's got time. It's a screen pass to Billy Sims. At the 45. At the 40. They bring up 4th down and 11 or so to go. Ezra Johnson chased Sims down from behind. Let's see what unit is coming in. Mike Black is coming in to punt. Never had to kick under pressure like this at Tempe, I would imagine. Arizona State. Good kicker coming in. He's had his troubles today. He has run with it. He has tried to throw passes out of it. Now he's got a kick to Epps. He catches this one. Epps takes it at the 7. Good coverage inside the 10-yard line. Epps is tripped up as he was trying to get to the far sidelines, and Black goes back to his own bench, and he's happy. But out of Oklahoma State, 9-year veteran Leonard Thompson, he took some shot.
He really did, and it's an ongoing war, as you said, between these two teams. Vicious hitting.
That one should have been flagged. It was a bad call. The officials missed one right out in the open. It could have gotten somebody hurt. It's a 1st and 10 call. Whitehurst tossing back to Ellis. Ellis gets outside. There's a flag down around the blocking pattern of the right tackle, right guard position. Ellis having a good day running the ball. A little slow getting up this time. Gary Cobb in on another tackle. Against Green Bay. Whitehurst had some trouble moving them, had one drive, and then the blocked field goal. Minnesota leading Pittsburgh. It's close in the 4th, 17-14. Minnesota and Green Bay tied for the top in this league, 6-5 going in. And, of course, the Detroit Lions only one game back. They want this one badly indeed. 10:21 left.
unnecessary roughness, leg whipping. Number 54, offense, repeat first down.
Leg whipping called on McCarron, who's been doing that for at least a dozen seasons at offensive center. First down and 14. The fake draw. Whitehurst going to be chased by English out of the end zone. Let's see. A screen pass. At about the 8-yard line, a ball of players came together, and Whitehurst was almost run out of the ballpark.
He almost had to take a safety to set the screen up.
Was English after it? Ellis did make the reception.
He sets up on the screen. Boy, this is, you're talking about a gutsy call. A screen pass, one is, you know, the type of pressure and floodgates opening up on the screen pass. He's having to get out the end zone to set up the screen. And Ellis somehow makes the catch.
He almost had the fair catch. I wonder what the hang time was on that. Second down and 12. They're going to try to squeeze this offense now. Good play by Ellis, bouncing outside and cut down at the 6-yard line. Good recovery by the Lions. Jimmy Williams there first. Good defensive play. 9 minutes left just about in this ball game. A 20-13 Green Bay lead.
That was a good play by Williams, who's really coming on. He was the #1 draft choice in '82. Really mobile. You see how he adjusted on that play when Ellis made the cut to the outside. He kept his balance. And good, strong linebacker, Jimmy Williams.
A big third down situation facing Whitehurst and the Packers. Third down and 13. Packers are 1 for 8 converting third downs, and this one is crucial. Whitehurst from the end zone. Loads it up, knocked away by number 29 at the end. That's Bruce McNorton. A few boos come up from what has been a very quiet crowd.
Oh, they're booing. Gonna get good field position out of this. You know, Scribner's been driving the ball deep, but there's no way that he's gonna not. They're gonna get good. The Detroit man is lined up inside the 50-yard line to guarantee good field position.
That's Jenkins waiting for it. Scribner, by the way, is almost at the back line. Our cameraman is shooting right over his shoulder, it seems like. He's left-footed. Ooh, there's somebody just put a firecracker off and scared even us. Jenkins at the 40. Jenkins gets a block inside the 25. Good run back. And you're right, Charlie Waters. Detroit has field position, and they've got 8.5 minutes in which to get a touchdown. Don't forget, this is Thanksgiving week, and St. Louis is laying it on the San Diego team, 44-7 in the fourth quarter. And on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, it's the St. Louis Cardinals against the Dallas Cowboys, and that's always a pretty good grudge game. They play close.
You bet, and Dallas got killed by San Diego the week before, and here's St. Louis is coming back and beating San Diego now, so look out.
Big drive coming up. Possible tie ball game. Hipple faking, rolling right. He's got time. Open receiver. Reaches back with one hand. Nichols, and doesn't hang on. Looked like it was a slow motion throw and catch.
Well, his primary receiver was Chadwick running to the corner on the right-hand side of the field. That's a secondary receiver, Nichols, who we haven't heard very much from today. He was the #1 draft choice 2 years ago. Haven't seen very much of him today.
What happened to Billy Sims? If I got number 20 back there, I'd drive it right down and take it in the end zone, don't you?
They're trying to cash in right there with that big play on the first down. Now they got 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10. Now they toss it back to Billy Sims. Billy Sims is going to get most of it back, stays in bounds, and almost breaks the last tackle. Johnny Gray had to hang on for dear life. Close to the first down.
Tom, on first down, if you throw the ball and you get an incomplete pass, you come back with Sims on the next play to the outside. Good blocking by the Detroit line. They're really controlling the line of scrimmage. And a great run by Billy Sims.
He's like Seattle Slew. Once you get him out of the paddock, saddle him up and ride him. This guy wants to play football. Hand it to him until you get the touchdown. Hipple with a first down now on the 12-yard line. Inside handoff. That's Thompson. Everybody keen Sims as we are, so Thompson picks up some tough yardage inside.
Going into the ball game, Thompson had only carried the ball 11 times this year for a 1.8-yard average. And he's having a good day today, complimenting Sims well, who Sims on that last game has gone over 4,000 yards rushing in his short career. He's only the third line ever to go over 4,000 yards in the long 50-year history of the Detroit Lions.
Amazing career with Mel Farr and Steve Owens and Petrosani, etc. Some record in a short time. King's in there. Hipple back to throw. Flags are down. Hipple has the ball bouncing away and knocked away in the end zone as Norris had somewhat of a shot, but it was too low. The flag was down early. 7 minutes on the clock, and it stopped. 7 points is what Detroit needs for a tie, and it's called against the Lions.
Illegal procedure.
Boy, this game takes you back. The lights are on. It's sort of an off track. Two teams that have a lot of animosity toward one another.
Two different ball games, this first half and the second half.
Did you used to help the officials make their decisions like this? Did you used to help, obviously, that you were well-spoken, articulate fellow that you were?
Illegal motion, number 72 offense, declined, third down.
I have visited with them at length.
They declined this. How do you feel about the declination?
Well, that's a strange call. Ezra Johnson gets his hands up and barely tips the ball on this pass. You throw the ball across the middle, you're going to get some chances of some tips happening.
A field goal will do Detroit absolutely no good. 7 minutes left. It's third down and 6 at the 8. Hipple. Touchdown. If it's called, it's good. Number 87 came down with it. Freddie Scott. The long-forgotten Freddie Scott made some catch and danced on the line.
A great play, great throw by Hipple. Little corner route and good protection. You see what Hipple sees. He's looking at him all the way, and he rifles the ball. The ball's kind of bobbled a little bit by Scott. But he does manage to grab it, but he gets 2 feet in. Yes, obvious touchdown, but where are the Green Bay defenders?
And Hipple really waited, as you said, looked at him and loaded it up and made sure of the throw. Murray, Eddie Murray, 113 in a row. Hipple holds it. 114 in a row.
As we mentioned, Hipple set up in the pocket. Watch the way he looks to the right the whole time. That's telegraphing where you're going to throw it, but something on the Green Bay scheme. 22 Mark Lee went for the tip. He leaped up and tried to knock the ball away.
If Green Bay had taken the penalty, would the second down call have been the same by Hipple, or could the Green Bay Packers have used that penalty yardage?
That was a strange call, declining the penalty. I'd always move the team back when you get that close to the goal line, because you only needed 5 to go for the first, or 6 to go for the first.
Eddie Murray will kick it from the 35, of course. It has gotten somewhat cold to win his boy. Neither team knows that now. They're both heated up. They're stoked. Huckabee waiting for the kickoff. A lot of time left in the football game. And you know how many overtimes we've had this year in the NFL. 17 of them already. The teams are that close. A short kick by Eddie with that sore thigh, and it's out of bounds. And the Lions will have to kick from the 30.
Well, that'll help Green Bay's field position. They need everything they can get on field position. You see that Detroit only had to go 24 yards. That's a penalty. The second half, Green Bay's had the ball at their own 11, the 35, the 29, and the 28, and they'll get the ball here in about the 30 or 35 if they're a good return. So Green Bay's having to go a long ways where they didn't have to go very far the first half.
And 17 points the Lions have scored. And the score at halftime was 20-3, rather indicative of, as you say, there were 2 games. First half was Green Bay. The Lions have sort of owned this last half. Don't forget, next Sunday on CBS, it all starts with the NFL Today with Brent, Jimmy the Greek, and Irv back in New York. Then it's Minnesota, the Vikings, right now tied with Green Bay for the top against the New Orleans Saints. Or these Packers against those Atlanta Falcons, Bartkowski, Andrews, and company. Check your local listings. Good football right here on CBS. Boy, I'm enjoying this football game. There's nothing cute or fancy about this baby.
Yeah, just asked old Leonard Thompson.
And the Lions have handled the Packers, what, 6 out of the last 7 games?
They've got their number. They felt very confident going into the ball game, and Bar Star says we've got to start off with intensity. Look, the ball blows off the tee again. I tell you that the wind is really a factor, but it hasn't affected the field goal kickers, and not too many errant passes because of the wind.
And as we all know, the kicking game has become so important. Murray with a sore thigh. He didn't kick off last week. I'm sort of surprised to see him kicking this week. He'll try to place this one perhaps around a dead spot. He'd like to be able to kick it in the end zone. He tries. He gives it a good boot. Chasing Winters back to the 7-yard line. Winters carrying the ball like it's a loaf of bread. And pounded at the 16.
Your team is just tied. The game is just tied up, and your team's got to get the ball in good field position. You've got your backup quarterback in there. You get your kickoff. You don't go sideways with it. You're trying to get the team fired up by running straight up the middle and trying to get some gut yardage. And this guy's dancing around back there. That sets the tempo for the whole series. Now they got the ball on the 15. They should have had it on the 25 if he'd have turned upfield.
Gut yardage. I like that. You're absolutely right. At this time in the game, you got to go straight lines, don't you? Closest distance between 2 points. 6:37 left. Whitehurst, the quarterback. Dickey has a slight concussion. Has not played the second half. Whitehurst rolling to the right. English after him. Open. J.J. Jefferson at the 30-yard line. Make that Epps at the 30-yard line. There's real speed. He might be the fastest player in the Green Bay squad.
Yeah, a little water bug out there, 5'9". Has 12 catches coming in the game. A little partial rollout for Whitehurst, who likes to do that. Watkins, you seen him, he was getting up, slipping down on the turf. And he's throwing a little more poise, Whitehurst is. He had a pretty good series the series before in the way he threw the ball.
Good throw by the quarterback. 1st and 10 on the 30-yard line. They try to rush him. Whitehurst now throwing a lot. He's being rushed. Gets away from a tackler. Makes a great throw, and there's a reception there by Lofton. At the 43-yard line. Bobby Watkins making the tackle again. What a throw by Whitehurst.
You see Whitehurst shake his fist right there. He knows he's doing right. He knows he did something good right here. Watch him avoid the rush by Curtis Green here, number 62. That's the mobility that Dickey doesn't have. And he throws out into the flat. And Lofton comes back for this ball. That's what I like about those good ones. They come back to it and catch it high.
Good decision by Whitehurst in a hurry.
Real good decision.
2 good passes, 2 first downs in a row. A 20-all tie. Ellis into Detroit territory. Crowd coming to life. The clock is running. There'll be about 5 minutes after this pileup left in the game. 20-20.
Gary Ellis seems to be taking to that tailback or halfback position much better this week. He's gained over 70 yards today. He made a good cut on that play.
Keep in mind, the Packers have Jan Stenerud on the sideline. A high percentage field goal kicker. Was Cook drawn offsides, or did he just jump on his own?
The least penalized team in the NFC, the Green Bay Packers.
Full start, number 68, offense.
Ray Cook, perhaps expecting the early snap camp. Again, the quarterback is new for that first unit. Don't forget, following this game, we'll have the post-game wrap-up. The NFL Today will give us all of the highlights. Brent Nerve with the scores and the highlights. Boy, we've had a doozy of a day. And we'll have a few interviews right here with some of the principals. Right now, we don't know which team to go for. It's tied. 2nd down 8. Whitehurst throwing a bad pass into the flat, intercepted at the 49-yard line, and the whole Detroit bench is coming out to help their linebacker get up. It's 53, Cobb, and the ball hung up there for a long, long time.
I like it. Bart Starr right now already coming in with some encouragement for Whitehurst and the Green Bay team. Whitehurst under pressure right there by Green. Reaches in there, fights off a block, and gets his hand on the chest of Whitehurst, and he throws a wobbly pass. Of course, it's a gift for Gary Cobb. And another good field position for Detroit.
Why did he throw the ball? You know, I know that's second-team quarterback's in there, and he hasn't had much experience this year. A big turnover, the interception. Straight ahead goes Thompson, about the 45. Remember, the Lions have Mr. Murray. Sore leg and all, he's extremely accurate from the 40-yard line in.
Only missed 3 field goals all year, Eddie Murray. Of course, Stenerud's only missed 2 all year, so we've got very accurate field goal kickers for both teams, but time a factor.
Billy Friel tells me that was the second interception for Cobb, and certainly the largest one of this season. Second down and 5. Thompson, again, straight ahead. Packers really stacked this one. Packer defense has got to fight for its life now. You're looking at the big clock. Wingo in on that tackle.
They go with Thompson again. That's kind of, I thought we'd see Sims in that play.
Let's see, this will bring up that third and couple or long yard. Sims almost broke one of these early in the game. Short yardage, that's the thin line up there to break through it.
See, this is a very big down. If they can stop them right here, if Green Bay can stop them, then they're out of field goal range. Detroit is. Green Bay knows that. They need to stop them right here.
It's third down. And call it 2 or 1. This is Sims. Uh-oh, look out. That's what you have to be afraid of. The great back will break that first tackle, and you're stretched too far across the line of scrimmage. Lee forced him out of bounds. Billy Sims is a machine.
Watch the lead block by Vince Thompson on 52, George Cumby. There's 52 trying to make the tackle, and that's what happens on that short yardage. We spoke about it earlier. You burst through, and all of a sudden you get a big gain out of it, and that hurts Green Bay.
Boy, Sims loaded up the elbow, too, to make sure he didn't go out of bounds easily. 173 yards rushing. Billy Sims is auditioning. That's Bussey, Dexter Bussey. He's been a great player for Detroit for years. In there now to give Sims a little bit of a breather. Marsha Broda, Monty Clark, all those people on the sidelines trying to get the offense going to win a big game and perhaps tie them along with Minnesota for the top in this division.
You look for Detroit keeping the ball on the ground, and remember the little stat we told you earlier that Detroit had only fumbled 7 balls, lost 7 balls all year by fumbles. And the plot is sticking with Minnesota beating Pittsburgh.
The toss, fumbled. I believe Green Bay fell on the football.
Unbelievable.
Dexter Bussey.
Dexter Bussey, two carries from the all-time attempt record at Detroit. Has carried the ball many times in his career. Fumbles the pitch. And this team has only lost 7 fumbles all year.
Douglas recovery.
Incredible.
New life for the Packers.
Appears to be a good pitch. He never really grabbed it. Sort of bounced off his shoulder pads. Get on the ball. It's a funny thing, and it just won't come. And the Green Bay pressure gets to it.
Good recovery by the Packers. Big turnover for Detroit. A very careful team with a fumble. Whitehurst barely got the handoff made. Meade makes some yardage. Whitehurst almost put that on Meade's hip. Everybody getting tight on every handoff. The 2-minute clock will stop. Everybody has timeouts left for their closing drive. The Lions thought they had a real good chance to chip one in there and snitch the game right at the wire.
Billy Sims goes off the field after a short yardage play. Shows you
something on the scoreboard. 3 games this year, 158,176 paid. When they buy a ticket here, they come to the game too. The Packers with a tremendous fumble recovery. And a long way to go. They're on the 25. Second down. And 6 at the option pass by Ellis. He throws it sort of low and away, intended for number 85, which is Philip Epps. That was sort of a slider.
Yeah, sort of a strange call, too, to have your have a running back make a decision on whether he should throw the ball back across the middle or not. Linebacker they kind of hide out there. They put little leaves in front of their faces and stuff and hide. They don't lose. Quarterbacks don't even see them sometimes.
You're getting that low crouch.
Yeah.
1:55 left. Are you thinking field goal now? Or are you thinking use that 1:55 and get inside the 30 and give Stenerud a 35-yard shot?
Yeah, I think you're just thinking about ball control, keeping it away from them. Because if Green Bay does not get the first, then Detroit's going to get good field position, and they're going to take a shot at it.
They're singing a song here in the stadium. I feel like I'm at a World Cup soccer match or something. Big song, big game. 3rd down and 7. Whitehurst, straight drop back. He's got time. Lofton has the ball knocked away at the 44-yard line, and there's no flag. Graham was there.
And
Good
a good play by,
play.
I'm sorry, Brookie, another good play by McNorton, and he's cheering because he didn't get a penalty. He's made several good plays today, but he's been flagged on a lot of them.
Scribner is going to be kicking. A vital punt indeed. The Bears shutting out Tampa Bay 27-0. Of course, Chicago plays the Packers 2 out of the last 4 weeks. 4th down. Scribner, a left-footer. Jenkins is waiting. Pretty good kick under the conditions. Jenkins at the 34-yard line. Nailed, good coverage by the Packers. Jenkins staggers to the 40. 1:39 left, and don't forget, each team has 3 timeouts left. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes. Alice, one of our favorite ladies. The Jeffersons. Good Night, Beantown. And Charlie Waters' favorite show about surgery, Trapper John M.D. Tonight on CBS, a great lineup. You love that show, don't you? All about aches and pains, and neurosurgery.
11 operations. I feel very close to doctors in the NFL, or any doctor at all.
Most of them know you personally.
Great field position by Detroit right here.
Good field position at the 40. It's shotgun time. Hipple has gone all the way. He's being rushed, but he's got time to throw it. Completed into Green Bay territory. King takes it to almost the 45-yard line.
Now keep in mind that Detroit is going against the 27th team in the league as far as stopping the pass, Green Bay. They're not notorious at getting any sacks, and they're going with a fast offense.
King's always a good receiver, has been for years. Out of the shotgun again. Hipple outside. Oh, it's intercepted. Did he hold on to it at the 42-yard line? The diving linebacker makes some kind of a catch. John Anderson. That's as good as you'll see receivers make.
Anderson shaken up earlier in the ball game. Breaks on the ball and snags it in his hands. That's his 4th interception this year. He's a great player. He made a great play right there. He might have saved the game with that catch.
8-8 may win this division. They're exchanging chances to get a field goal and win a game. It's tied 20-20. The crowd's up. Whitehurst is back. English is after him. Whitehurst hit by English. Throws it in the nickel seats, and he's going to have to get up. Even Lofton couldn't get that one. What a rush by Doug English. What did Dressler tell us? That he uses some kind of a fast swim move.
Swim move. He says he's got the big moves. I don't know what big moves mean. I guess that's a swim move. He says, I learned a lot the last time. I bet he's learned a lot more today because we've seen a lot of Doug English today.
2nd down, 10. Packers have the ball at the 42. Interception by Anderson. Woo! Lions got back. No flag. Whitehurst chased. Tried to do a screen. Fantetti nails the player at the 35.5-yard line as Clark can't get away from the linebacker. The crowd is in a lovely mood.
I don't understand why they're doing it. They're trying to move the ball downfield. You can't throw it with a lineman in your face.
The reason they're booing is because they've never played or run from these kind of people. They have no idea what fear really is.
Somebody's finally calling timeout. Let 20 seconds go. Detroit's the one that called timeout.
Well, the Packers still had their timeouts. They must be thinking about not worrying about a turnover, but I would try deeper patterns if I was going to do it. If you, at least you turn over, you turn it over down around the 10 or 15-yard line.
Yeah, they ran that deep sideline route. This is down the field, and then they come back with a screen.
Crazy I am, right? No comment from Charlie Waters. Third down at 16. Whitehurst, what's he going to do? Straight drop back. He's going deep for it. He's got a man open. He overthrows Kaufman at about the 37. Lofton is on this side, and nobody's within 20 yards of him. In fact, James was looking around thinking maybe somebody was sneaking up on him.
29 seconds left.
Scribner is going to punt. How would you like to be in his shoes? And they're left-footed shoes.
I wouldn't. I know that one thing, Garcia's glad.
You've got to be careful trying to block it, because if you do hit the punter, almost, they tried for it. It's a low kick. Kenny Jenkins at the 27. Jenkins will get out of bounds and safely into his own bench. And there's a flag down on the play. There's 20 seconds on the clock. The officials do have those yellow flags weighted. That's the reason they carry so well into the area of disagreement. They have been very active today in most cases. Correct. And Carter says it's against Detroit on the run back. Obviously, the Rules Committee of the NFL will have a long meeting in Palm Springs and change the punting rules for coverage and all, so the game can get on with it.
There are a lot of penalties in the punting game in the NFL today, with the new rules of not being able to block below the waist.
You've got to be a physiology major to throw a block anymore. They're going to sit it out and go into waiting is Harlan Huckabee, number 25. Murray with a sore leg. It's a short kick. Taken by Chet Winters. Winters hit it up in it at the 21. Again, Detroit covers the kickoff extremely well. That was King down to make that tackle.
The one drive that Green Bay had.
And our opinion from up here, Whitehurst has been the Green Bay quarterback the entire second half. Dickey with a slight concussion. The toss back to Ellis, a busy man. Number 31 battles to the 24-yard line. Doug English there along with Pop. And of course, if Detroit wins this game, there will be two teams tied for second in this division. And it's still a long way from being over. Second down, 7. Big rush and drop back at the 15 is Whitehurst as William Gay gets his first sack of the day in a hurry.
Whitehurst didn't even set up, it didn't look like, rookie. We've seen a lot of Doug English, but this is William Gay coming in the left-hand side of your screen. He'll just show up. And that's hard for any quarterback, Dickey or anybody, to throw the ball.
Gay made such a quick move out of Southern California. Has had a couple of late hits to his discredit, but I'll tell you one thing, he can put a pass rush on you, and he plays football. It's third down and 14. The ball on the 17. Whiter straight drop back. He's got time going deep sidelines for Lofton, overthrowing everybody on the sidelines. McNorton pretty close to number 80.
The sack by William Gay.
Well, you got to have a strong personality to be a quarterback in the NFL. You're only as good as your last completion. Scribner in the punt. Pretty cool customer, this
He's
guy.
been driving them deep, too. And Ken Jenkins is doing a real good job returning for Detroit. He's going to get good field position.
Almost blocked. The last punt of Scribner's. They let him kick it this time. This is a pretty good hanging punt. Jenkins at the 43-yard line. Jenkins cuts back up inside. Steams to the 45-yard line. And Detroit, using special team play, has good field position. Especially, we're in overtime. All they need is to get close enough for 3. Billy Sims cutting inside. Over the 40, makes 3 people miss and leaps to the 35-yard line. Well, you're seeing one of the great ones have one of his great days. Make no mistake.
He's getting close to 200 yards, right around the 189-yard mark. But watch this. First of all, good block on the outside. And Vince Thompson makes another good block. But This is great running or either poor tackling. You be the judge. I don't think I can tackle him. First down.
Amazing effort. Billy Sims motoring today for Detroit inside the 35. Norris is in motion. Inside drive. Thompson, fullback to try to keep everybody honest on the line of scrimmage. Tripped up by Douglas and company. Jones had to leave early with injured ribs, making a try for a pass from Hipple. And this defense has those linebackers. They just sit there and lay it on you.
In Green Bay, you see Wingo leading the game, number 50, and they're coming in with Ron Spears, 79, another defensive lineman to have a four-man front, expecting Detroit to run, which I think they're going to run.
Second down and 9. Close setbacks. Sims and Thompson. Hipple getting a change. Underthrows the fullback at the 32. Thompson, intended receiver. Hipple good-naturedly grins like he had no chance of catching that one.
Just threw that one down the dirt. You got to give the ball to Sims. I thought they were going to run.
Well, it's
what do we know?
Third down. That's right. Third down and 9. With Sims, you know you'd be close to third down and 3 at least. Big play in this overtime. We got a 20-all tie in Milwaukee. Hipple got the backs out. Hipple rifles a throw. He made the first down with the last lunge. It was King, number 25. Good effort here.
Real good effort after the catch, Brookie. Horace King comes out of the backfield. Hadn't caught many balls. They hadn't caught any today. Spins back to the inside. 55, Scott coming in there and trying to make the tackle. But let's watch him fall for the first down.
Good effort and picked it up just enough to move the sticks.
Sorry, that was Anderson on the tackle instead of Scott.
24-yard line. They've got to get closer than this for Murray, too. And as we said, very effective kicker from the 40 in. Sims losing perhaps a little bit. Maybe he made the line of scrimmage. He makes it all look so easy. Skogstad in there making the tackle. The Packers have used the entire roster today.
Packers going from a 3-man front to a 4-man front, depending on what they think the situation is. I guess they feel that they're going to run, which we thought earlier they're going to run, and Detroit through, so let's see what happens.
4-man front invites you to go ahead and straighten up. Let's see what the Lions have cooked up. Second down 10. Inside handoff. Thompson inside the 20 to the 17-yard line, call it. Bring up a very interesting third down.
Vince Thompson playing a real big role today. All you have to do is have Billy Sims move to the left and Thompson up the middle, and all of a sudden everybody, 3 guys go with Sims, and Thompson gets 5 or 6 yards up the middle.
Now, should they fail with this first down run or pass, I would say run probably, do you bring in your field goal man right away and get the 3 and try to win the game right now, right?
Yes.
All right. They call it 2 yards to go. Thompson straightened up.
They're short.
He's short of the first down. Good defensive job by the Pack. Again, the crowd very quiet. The press box up here very quiet. Here comes number 3.
Now remember, we got Gary Lewis on the other side of the line of scrimmage, who is a designated field goal blocker. And you remember earlier, the last field goal that Murray made, he had a hook. He hooked it around Lewis's leap.
That's right.
And made the field goal. And so is that man thinking about that now?
And the ball sort of fluttered. A 33-yard field goal attempt. He has a sore thigh. There's stuff blowing on the field now. All kinds of garbage bags, etc., etc.
Little psychological ploy.
Sometimes those things cybernetically pass through your mind. Hipple's the holder. They're calling it wide left. Murray thought it was good. The crowd tells it differently.
Murray thought it was good. He just snatches it to the left. I don't think it was blocked, but I tell you what, Gary Lewis was involved in it, yes, and it moved left. Lewis does play a role in this thing. Look how he gets up. The ball, you have to avoid this guy.
Almost. Packers back to live action. We still have a 20-all tie, and the Lions really go after Ellis and take him back to the 17-yard line and dump him. Led by Gay. We've got over 9 minutes left. No score yet in the overtime, and still 20-20.
When you think about the second half, Rookie, what is Green Bay doing? What have they done right now that they can depend on this second half? They really haven't done anything. I mean, there's really nothing you can do. There's a little bit of a Gary Ellis running the ball.
That's about
Shows some flashes of brilliance, but that's it. What do you do in this situation?
You got to load it up. It's lock and load time. Whitehurst. He's probably more settled down now. It's second down 10. The handoff to Ellis. Ellis gets away from Gay and Fantetti and is drilled in the back by Kofor, who is a very, very active player.
That's Mike Kofor, the rookie from Tennessee. At 6'5", 245, ran down a running back from behind and held him to a short gain. This is a critical situation. This man right here who's throwing the ball with a little more poise, but he's bringing the bluebirds out of the woodwork.
The Packers, 6'5", the Lions, 5'6". Whitehurst, the second half quarterback, Dickey, got hit in that first half and has a slight concussion. 1 of 12 third down conversions for the Packers. Third and 8. Big drop. Got blocking. Intercepted at the 30-yard line by number 27. That's Watkins with a tremendous move on the pass and a great defensive play.
That was great timing by Bobby Watkins.
Was that the pattern you were looking for, Charlie?
The little inside route is just I mean, there's people in the middle that you don't see sometimes. Whitehurst, you're looking at what he looks at. He's got plenty of time. He's had pressure today, but not on this pass. You don't even see Watkins. He just sneaks in front of him, and he must have had a pick route, a pick play called. It's a design play where he sneaks in front. He goes for the interception.
Fourth interception for Watkins, intended for Kaufman, and both defenses now are really beginning to belabor the ball carrier. That was Thompson that time, and the Packers jumped him. Maybe a yard gain.
You know, Watkins is amazing. He got 5 interceptions last year and wasn't even a starter, and 3 of the interceptions was against Green Bay. He likes to play against Green Bay. He says, we turn on against Green Bay.
Bart might want to get him in a trade in the offseason. Second down, and a game is far from over. 8 minutes on the overtime clock. Hipple, misdirection to Billy Sims. Sims working inside the 20. Great ball carriers seem to have extra time to do things. Billy Sims never looks like he's in a hurry. Everybody else looks like they're scrambling and scratching to catch him. Don't they? Is that
always. The real good ones always look smooth. Look at this, 189 yards today. That's his best ever.
And he waits for things. Dorsett has that same ability. Earl Campbell has that ability.
Make it look so smooth and so simple and doesn't look like there's very much effort involved.
A third down and 4. Crowd extremely quiet at this moment. From the eye, the toss back to number 20. Not much. To the 17 and a half. Strongstad in there. Douglaston on the tackle again, and number 3 comes back in.
There's the main character.
Take no prisoners now. It's a 20-all tie. If he makes this, the Lions and the Green Bay Packers are tied, and Minnesota has the top spot, at least for 1 week. Or at least for 4 days, until Thursday. Hipple is holding.
It's over.